Hello and welcome, this is rooflemonger, and in this video I have one proposed change I would like to see for every single character in Mortal Kombat 11. So I'll be going through the entire roster here. This is going to be mostly buffs as far as proposed changes I'd like to see, as most characters, they're in a pretty good state, and some characters, well, maybe one or two characters might be asked for a nerf here, and obviously some characters could definitely use a lot more than one change, but we're going to keep to our rule set here. So I'm going to be going over one change I would like to see for every character here, and let's just start at the top of the list. For Shao Kahn, we did a whole video about Shao Kahn and Kotal Kahn's issues, but if you haven't seen it, the one change I would like to see for Shao Kahn is 434, that's this guy right here, is special cancelable. So he can do this string, and then immediately go into shoulder and combo. It'd just be a fantastic quality of life buff for the character. I don't really see anyone arguing it. As it stands, he can get 20% on the side switching string, and this move already has a pretty big gap that's pretty easy to flawless block through, so I say why not make it special cancelable. Now, since we mentioned the gap for Shao Kahn here, the one thing I would like to see Frost change is back to 2. It's our poke string, and it's very slow and has a bunch of other issues, but right now it has a gap in it that you can very easily flawless block through, and that's a bit of an issue. It's actually very reactable to flawless block it. Like, you're not going to get it every single time, right? But once you play a lot of Frost and all that stuff, you see this, you can really get the read on the second hit, because it is kind of slow to come out, right? And there's basically no reason for a gap to be there. It's certainly not an overpowering move. 9 times out of 10, you're only going to be able to get the drill off of it. If you are very close and probably shouldn't have been using it to begin with, then you can get the freeze, I suppose. But yeah, as it stands, there's a gap there that can be flawless blocked or fatal blowed through, and there's no reason for that to be there, so get rid of it. So, Johnny Cage, as a lot of you probably know, in case you don't, one of the main criticisms of Johnny is he has some of the worst crushing blow requirements in the game. So in this specific variation, one with mime time, let alone the other variation, because oh my god, the camera is really bad. But mime time, it'll trigger if it's first hit of the match or after 2 extended mimes. So that right there, you see how it flashes? So you gotta hit 2 of those after the flash for it to get the crushing blow. So nuts to that. Like, just remove the EX requirement at all. If you get 2 mime times, you get the crushing blow. Done story. Don't make it ridiculous. Because, who on earth is gonna fall for that? Like, legit. It's kind of funny, I guess, but man, yeah. So if you can hit him with 2 mime times, boom, that's triggering crusher blow. That's good enough right there. So Sonya, this will be one of the few characters that last for a bit of a nerf here. As it stands, everyone knows Sonya, her damage is among the best in the game. Her mix-up potential is kind of through the roof, right? All that stuff's great, and you know what? Hey, whatever, sure. Awesome, leave it that way, right? But she's also, ridiculously strong zoner. Like, a lot of people are calling her Sonya now. Because of just the absolute suite of everything she has in the air, ground, all that. So the change I would recommend is simply the basic ring shot here. Add a few more frames of recovery to it. Because as it stands right now, she can just pump these things out like crazy. And just a few more frames of recovery, so she'll not be able to regain control of the character for just a little bit longer than it currently stands now. It'll just help curtail it a bit. She'll still have a very strong zoning suite, but she won't be quite as devastating, because as it currently stands, a lot of characters simply can't match her output when it comes to fireballs. So Cassie is a pretty complete character. She's got a lot going for her. She's got, really good normals, pretty good competitive variation here with the low gunshot and all that. But then again, she has this stupid thing. So flipping out here, yeah, you can do close, yeah, you can do far. And, well, that shows it all right there. Like, I completely missed, right? So the big thing I would say, change for Cassie, is give this move something. Like, oh my lord. It's horrifically unsafe. It struggles to hit people at all. Maybe add more gunshots to it, like a couple more extra projectiles in the air. At least that way it can kind of reliably cover people. Or make it so it recovers a lot quicker than it currently does. Like, the total amount of time she's in the air is less frames. So she'll complete her move and land to the ground quicker. But as it stands, man, this is potentially the single worst special in the game. So give it something. Now, for Jax, he's a character that has a lot of what he needs. Like, his pressure's really good, you know, his 50-50 game's really good, all that fun stuff, you know, between this and low options. You know, he's not a combo-heavy character. Even in the other variation where he can combo, he's still not a particularly combo-heavy character. But then the one thing I would say is this string right here, well, sleep, you know, swear words, that one there. So, it's a can combo. You can't really do anything after it here. And it's just incredibly underwhelming here. Like, there's no real reason to ever really actually want to go for this unless you desperately want to switch sides. But then again, you know, you got the gotcha grab, right? So, if you want to switch sides, it's easy enough with the gotcha grab, right? So, I would say increase the base damage of this string to make it, you know, worthwhile. Make it like the Shao Kahn 4-3-4 string, right? So, it does about 20% overall. It's just... I'm not going to say it's a dead move, but considering everything else Jax has, it's certainly very underwhelming. Scorpion. So this is an easy one here, and it's going to be a nerf. He's very strong, and you don't let him be strong, but there is no reason teleport should be in mid right now. And the follow-up, they're both mids, so make them high. So if you know the guy's just doing this all day long here, and he's just waiting for that sweet little moment there, right? Make it at the very least so that if you neutral duck it, you can punish it with an uppercut, you know, get a crushing blow or something. Still doesn't ruin the utility of the move. The move has all the uses it still had, but it discourages brain dead play with using the teleport. So, teleport, it is a mid right now, change it to a high. For Noob Saibot, let's talk about the back 1+3 string here. So it's -17 on block, and it creates this weird situation where if a character can punish it, that I feel is like a very match-up deciding factor. And if they can't punish it, then it's also a match-up deciding factor. Not so much broken, but if they can punish it, like, you know, Johnny Cage, Sub-Zero, something like that, then it really kind of messes his ability to do, you know, what he wants to do, which is like a defensive spacing character, right? So I would say simply, just make it less disadvantage on blocks. Don't make it disadvantage. Don't get too crazy, right? Because it's strong as it is, right? But make it so it doesn't make him such a wildly matchup-dependent character where the characters that can punish it, they can run amok all over him for free. The characters that can't punish it, it's not like it makes the matchup impossible for him or anything, right? Like, he still has all these other issues. So I just say make it less negative so the characters that can punish it can't just punish it for free, no issue, no fuss, no muss. Now, for Baraka, Baraka is kind of pretty good. He's one of the secret better characters. You know, a lot of people don't think of him as an overly strong character, but he definitely has a lot of what it takes to win in this game, right? So you don't want to go too crazy, but the one thing I would say is this move right here. So stand 2 into 1+3. So it's plus on block. Like, it's only +1, right? So it's not a big deal. But, you know, he already has other moves that are plus on block, right? And not only that, the stand 2 is a high, and 4-2 is also a high, but 4-2 is much faster. So if you're going to do this, and you want plus on block move here, this one's just kind of inferior, right? Like, it does much less damage if you connect 2 as well. So I would simply say this. Since it already does less damage, make it just slightly more plus on block. Like, you have your fast plus on block option, and you have your bit slower plus on block option, but it's actually more than just a simple +1, right? Maybe make it +2, +3, or something like that. Just enough to, you know, make it more respectful than it currently is, because between the two moves he has that are plus, that one's just not as good as 4-2, really, honestly. For Raiden, the one change I would like to see is his lightning strike. That's this guy right here. So the move, like, you can aim it, right? You know, it can be close, it can be medium, it can be far, all that fun stuff. But it has one real big weakness here. That is, no matter where you hit on screen, it's always the same amount of negative on block. So if it's that far away, it's negative 29. If I'm this far away, it's negative 29. If I'm right in your face, it's negative 29. And honestly, considering what the move offers, which is a fairly low damage move and fairly slow startup move, that's just no good. Like, compared to, say, to Geras, right? Geras' move is much faster and much less negative on block, and, you know, he can aim it too, right? So a lot of characters with negative 29, you can be pretty far away, and they can still get a full punish. Like, that is not nothing. That is a significant amount of frames to be negative by. And, like, you know, say we do the regular lightning ball, right? From that far away, it's -6. This close, negative 11, right? Because there's travel time, and the closer we are, it'll more instantly hit, and, you know, that's what we pay our price for. And that's how most projectiles work. You know, the closer you are, the more risky. But this thing is as risky from far away as it is up close, right? And that's kind of the issue. Maybe you can make it so the moves separately are have different frames of disadvantage on block. So the close one has negative 29 frames, but the, say, far away one is keyed to be more reasonable, like, say, negative 15 frames or negative 14 or 16 or 17, whatever you want, right? But not just, like, a lot of the cast can, like, punish them from this far away, which is kind of crazy, right? So, yeah, just make that way less negative on block. So, Sub-Zero, gonna ask for a nerf, right? Nah, he's alright. He's good at the thing he's supposed to be good at. That's fine. I don't care about that. Let's talk about the Frigid Storm move, though. So this move is a very slow move, as you can see here. And the whole idea is you're spending a lot of time doing this very slow move, so at least it's a mid, right? The problem is a lot of characters can, like, literally low profile it with, like, a down 4 or something. So when you do this and it gets closer, they can down 4 and just goes clear over their head. They don't even have to take chip damage. So I would say just simply match the hitbox a bit so you can't just literally low profile it. Other than that, you know, yeah, does he got the 50-50 stuff? Sure he does. But we know whatever. It is what it is. I'm okay with that. Maybe I won't be okay next time I play Sub-Zero and I get 50-50 to death. But for now, the one thing is this move is definitely not working as intended against some characters, as they can easily go under it, despite the fact it's a mid. So I would say fix that. For Kano, this is a character I can definitely think of a lot more than one change, but we're going to play by our own rules here. You know, I'm not going to ask for the fact that back 2 should launch higher when the enemy's ducking, because this actually launches them different. You can't get certain combos when they duck. Not going to ask for that. But what I am going to ask for is there's no reason for his grab to be a high. There's literally no reason. A character like Geras, who has, like, easily the best command grab in the game, is a mid, right? There's no reason for this to be a high at all. You should not be able to neutral duck this. It's not like it does stupid damage. Like, it only does 18% if you meter burn it. So there is absolutely no reason for this to be a high. Let it be a mid, let it be an actual threat, let it be something he actually wants to go for, because it kind of really dissuades his want to use it sometimes because it is a high. So just let it be a high. Or sorry, let it be a mid. I don't even know what I'm saying. Let it be a mid. Kabal, honestly, is one of the hardest characters to make any changes for. He's kind of almost perfect the way he is. He's a very strong character without being ridiculous. Nothing needs nerfing, obviously, because nothing's too strong. Any one buff could make him too ridiculous, right? So the one thing I'll say is, just for an easy use of most players, his Fatal Blow, yes, it's very negative 35 here, but realistically, I see a lot of people, even myself early on, right? I struggle a lot because the pushback of the Fatal Blow on block, it's actually mildly difficult to intuitively deal with. So I would simply say, just reduce that pushback. So when he does Fatal Blow, you deserve to get punished anyways if you screwed up, right? Just leave him a lot closer to the enemy, so it's a lot more intuitive for people to punish him. So Liu Kang, a lot of people like Liu Kang. You know, all the bicycle kick stuff, all the flying kick stuff. Really good projectiles in the one variation. You know, a lot of people like it. The people love the parry, right? But nobody talks about this stupid thing, right? The Shaolin stance. Nobody talks about it because it's pretty crappy, honestly. Like, you get a non-mix-up because only the second hit's an overhead, right? And you get this cancel, which is, like, god-awful because it's literally the slowest thing in the world. There's nothing you can do that doing the cancel from doesn't make you much slower than you were before, for the most part. So I would just say, just make the cancel itself a bit faster than it currently is. Like, you don't gotta go crazy, but see, when I hold block after canceling, that's how fast I recover. And it's not very quick, as you can see here. So just shave a couple frames off and make it a little bit more useful, because people love this character, and people definitely love the one competitive variation one with the low fireball and the parry, but then you got this stupid thing, and nobody likes that one. Now, Kitana, I did have the opportunity to play her right before the day 1 patch went live, and I can tell you, man, she was a lot funner character back then than she is now, right? So without saying something lame, like, you know, just revert the day 1 patch and just have her as she was before, because that won't happen, I would just say, when her fan hits you in the air, just give it a couple more frames. You can still get a few, like, down 1 combos or something like that off juggles. depending on your starter, but they're all pretty lame. Let the inventiveness for her combos like shine just a little bit more, right? So when you have them hit in the air with a fan, just a couple more frames just so you can actually like get some decent combos and play around with it. So Kung Lao, that's another character where picking one choice really limits ourselves, but since we're limited to one choice here, I'm just going to say Orbiting Hat. As it currently stands, Orbiting Hat is not good enough for what it does. All it does is basically lets you make his horrifically unsafe on block strings, which is most of his strings. They're mostly unsafe on block. Lets you make them safe at -7. So that's, you know, still not that amazing, right? But it makes them safe at -7 at the cost of an offensive and a defensive bar. Maybe one or the other, but both? No, man, this move is not... Like, this isn't Mortal Kombat X. This move is not plus on block. This is not plus 20 or whatever it was on block, right? As it stands, man, this move is laughably bad for what it does. You have to change it in some way, so I would say this. If you gotta nerf this move in some way, shape, or form, I would say it takes one defensive bar, and that is it. Still doesn't make it great, honestly, but it's something, because as it stands, man, this move is like meant to like plug up holes in his otherwise really bad offense. You know, that's -13 on block for a hit confirm. That's full punish, right? So you can do this, and then, hey, I guess it's -7, and now I lost my chance to be able to break away if I get hit back because I'm down defensive bar, so, you know, let alone being down an offensive bar. So yeah, this move sucks. A lot of things about Kung Lao suck, but with one choice, I'd say make this use one defensive bar and not a defensive and an offensive bar. So Jade's not great, but she has the one variation that's kind of serviceable, the zoning variation. I would say then let's look at the other variation here, with the one with the pole vault. So the pole vault has also command run in it, and I would say make the command run do something, anything, please. Come on, work with us, right? Like, if I could do something like, you know, 1-2, command run, cancel, 1-2 combo, that'd be cool. That'd be super sick and fun, right? She's a low damage character, so maybe turn that into the combo variation. But yeah, as it stands, like, run, cancel. Like, if you know some forbidden tech, please tell me, man, because I mess around with this a lot and I got nothing, right? Like, you recover pretty slow off of it, too. Like, it just stinks, kind of, right? So I would say just give her the ability to do something off of it. Make it recover a lot faster. I would love to, like, once again, I would love to see it, like, you know, get a couple hits in, run cancel to get another couple hits in. Let that style of Mortal Kombat X combo exist at least for one character and one variation, right? But as it stands, yeah, man, the pole vault variation and the run canceling, it just stinks. So that's my change for Jade. So Skarlet. Skarlet is another character that's a really complete character. You can't give her too much without making her busted. And obviously nothing deserves any kind of nerf, right? So what do you do with Skarlet? And I just have one change, you know, as is the video. And that's just her back two scythe. So if you never played her since the beta, they changed the crushing blow requirement for it. So now it's only 2 in a row instead of 1 in a row. But the thing is, this move is still absolutely death on block. And it doesn't do that much, and, you know, considering what it is, it's not that scary. So I would simply say it's 22 frames right now, just bump it up to like 20 or 19, just like Sub-Zero, right? It's obviously a lot scarier than Sub-Zero, or a lot less scary than Sub-Zero, that is. Has more range. But as a poke here, just keep it in our arsenal of pokes here, just a little less reactable than it currently is. It's still not that strong in the end, still very negative on block in the end. But give her just a little bit more opportunity to catch you sleeping at the wheel here, and then be able to trigger that crushing blow. So not a big change, but just a nice little quality of life change. So Erron Black, a lot more than one change I want to give this guy, and ain't none of them good. He's really dumb and pretty much wildly the best character in the game, like even more so than like Geras. Because Geras plays a lot more honest game than this guy does, right? But limiting ourselves to one change. Let's talk the boot. The boot is really stupid, it's really good, it's really strong, and nuts to the boot itself. Let's talk about the gunshot after the boot. This is the real issue. This is the big turnstile. The boot is already effectively unpunishable. Like, only a handful of characters have the 7-framer to be able to reach from that far away. And with this stupid thing after it, it's -10 at like this far away, which basically almost no character can deal with. And it comes a guessing game in and of itself. You know, is he going to do the gunshot? Is he not going to do the gunshot? All that kind of fun stuff. So the gunshot should be full punishable on block. Like, not -10. Not I'm talking like -20. Like, if you're trying to turn steal after the drop kick, which is already basically safe, then you deserve to get punished if you get red and you get blocked. That's all there is to it. Like, this move is incredibly difficult to punish as it currently stands with most roster in the game. And considering the move is already so good just by itself, let alone the threat of the turn steal afterwards for a bar, yeah, so that absolutely should be full punishable on block. -10, no way, like -20 or higher. That's fine by me. Dvorah is a really hard one. She's another character like Kitana. I would just say revert her back before the day 1 patch when she was least mildly usable, because they nerfed literally everything about her. They made everything slower and worse, and yeah, if you're not aware, it's pretty universal that she's pretty much among the worst characters in the game, if not the worst character in the game. So any one change, honestly, is pretty much a drop in the bucket. But if I had to make one change, I would say, I guess, Strep Siptera, if I'm saying that correctly. Make that hit from a little bit further away. Be something, because you can see right there, he misses pretty close. And considering the startup and all that, right? And yeah. Any one change is literally a drop in the bucket. Like, I've thought about this for a while. Like, I'm like, well, yeah, but this doesn't really matter because everything else sucks. This doesn't matter because everything else sucks. A lot of things suck for her. So I guess if it's one change, I guess that's it. Make it have more range. But yeah, she needs a lot of help. Alright, so Kotal, if you watch this channel at all, you know I've been vocal about this. Kotal's my boy. He stinks. So, a lot more than one change I want to see. But for simplicity's sake, let's just make it the easy one here. The command grab shouldn't switch sides. It should never switch sides. There's no point for it to switch sides. It should stay same side so you don't lose all your corner progress and you forget it. Since it's one of the main combo enders, every time you get any kind of combo, you've lost all your corner progress, / you're just putting yourself in the corner. So yeah, command grab. Maybe you can even, choose what side you want. Maybe that's asking for the moon, but at the very least, it should stay same side. So Geras, one change for Geras, and full disclosure, I play this character, right? But I'm still going to give him a nerf, and that's on the old sand trap, and that's both versions of this, regardless of the variation. They do have the same frame data, and this should just be more negative on block. I recently in the video showed, how some characters can punish it at certain ranges, but as it stands, this move's a little good for what it does. You shouldn't really make it slower, because then that just kills a lot of the value of the move, in my opinion. But it should be more negative. There should be more risk, especially if he whiffs. There should be more recovery on whiff. Because he doesn't recover instantly, to be sure. But if he whiffs, he doesn't recover all too slow either. So, negating it more negative on block / just more recovery on whiff. So the Kollector, this is actually a character I've been putting a fair amount of time into lately. And while he's certainly not the best, I think he's a lot better than a lot of people give him credit for. So one change I would like to see, considering, the amount I've played him, and what I find valuable and not valuable in this moveset is the mace attack here. This move is just too slow for what you want to do it. Even, yeah, and you can hold and all that kind of stuff, right? But 34 frames is just too slow for what this move offers. Considering, I can bola you from faster than that, from that distance. Just shave a few frames off it, make it 30, 29, 28 frames. Just to make it a little more respectable, because a lot of characters, once they see this wind up, because you definitely don't want to use it point blank, right? But once you see it, you use it, wind up at the range you want to use it, they're just going to walk back and then chuck a fireball in your face, right? So, I would just say, for Demonic Mace, just make it more useful. Once again, I think this character's better than people give him credit for. He's certainly not the best or even high tier, but he's decent. He's got a fun little tool set, with a lot of pokes and stuff, so keeping that in mind, just make this move more useful than it currently is. Alright, Cetrion. Cetrion's a very fun character. There's a lot of things I think, you could do to her that might make her a little strong. One of the first things I thought was this string here, -10 is punishable. You can think well, make that -7, right? But then you got to think, considering the range and the startup here, how far she can actually hit you with this thing, that might make it on the stronger side, and all of a sudden she's one of the more dominant footsies characters in the game. Not that that would necessarily be a bad thing, but considering, all the other strengths she has. So I'll say this. The geyser crushing blow triggers if the move misses 3 times in a row before hitting. 3 times in a row. So if you do this 3 times in a row and miss 3 times in a row, and you're somehow not dead, right? Like, if you somehow have not already lost the game for missing this move 3 times in a row, and then you actually get it, like, I don't know, man. You're my hero. Like, this crushing blow requirement, like, in the game full of, like, really wacky crushing blow requirements is one of the worst ones to be sure. Because I don't know who on earth can miss this thing 3 times in a row and still, like, be able to be alive to try to get the 4th one, right? Even missing it 3 times and then getting a crushing blow, let alone the in a row part, that's a bit much. I would just say if you miss it, say, I don't know, twice, right? Or, you know, actually, screw that. If you miss it once, right? If you are somehow so bad, if you miss it once and then the next one is a successful hit. So if it gets blocked or whatever, you reset back to the 0. But if you miss it once and then the next one's a successful hit, that should be the crushing blow. 3 times in a row, man, that's wacky. I don't even know who came up with that. And hey, that's the video. So that was one change for every single character in the game as it currently stands in Mortal Kombat 11. Will there be a patch in the future? Hey, guaranteed. When it'll happen? Hey, who knows? I have no idea, right? But, you know, a lot of people, as, you know, the tiers are starting to solidify themselves, you know, a lot of people are starting to realize just who's good, who's bad, you know. It's inarguable at this point, you know, Sonya, Geras, you know, Erron Black, these are some of the better characters. This is inarguable at this point. Characters like Kotal Kahn, characters like Dvorah are kind of bad, and if you, say, put Kotal Kahn in A tier, you're probably really misinformed about what the character can do. But yeah, so that's my changes, the things I would like to see happen. Will they happen? Probably not, right? But that's what the video's for. It's just for fun. Hopefully maybe someone important sees it and realizes, hey, some characters got some issues. Anyways, that's it for this video because I'm rambling now. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has found you well. Go and play some Mortal Kombat.